That really looks wrong. Very much it looks incorrect. Then this one, I sewed this one on. It doesn't look right either. I don't know. I am so sorry I was not able to put out a video this past week. And the reason is because I had a lot of stuff to do. My husband travels a lot for his job and I was having to manage everything on my own. Then they threw in this long holiday with school. There was just a lot of stuff. And so I just wasn't able to get everything done in time. But because of that, you're going to get 2 videos this week. And so it's not all bad. So they'll be closer together so you won't have to wait so long to see me, which I know you are just with bated breath waiting for my next drop.
Right.
I'm back today and I'm going to show you what all I have done this last week. I was able to finish my advent calendar for, I don't know when, the days are just running together, the one for last week. I did it. I finished it. I am so proud of myself. I am getting this stuff done. And it is only because I said I would to y'all. And so now I kind of have to do it. I don't have the excuse of, I'm gonna get it done. So I did. There were just a lot of little pieces with this thing, but it's coming along fine. I will admit that I am terrible at reading ahead in a pattern. I just assume I know exactly what's going to be happening, and almost every time I do that, I am exactly wrong. And that has caused problems with this. All of them should have been alike, and none of them are alike. Not a one. And it's my own fault, but I figure this gives things character. Let me tell you about the story. So basically, the story is that I'm in the woods. I'm camping. It sounds like I'm camping with somebody. Who that other person is, I don't know. It's a witch. We're flying on brooms in the night. Things are happening. We're needing tools. That was the compass last week. I needed the compass to help me know where I'm going, but the compass is telling me all the wrong things because I'm going in circles. I keep seeing the same stuff over and over again. It's terrible. As a witch, I would think I would use some powers and figure this out, but evidently I'm not a good witch. I got stuck last week and I had the bucket with the constellation that was supposed to be in there that I didn't make. And then I also had the little fox friend, and evidently, according to the story, either he snores or my partner witch is snoring a whole lot. I'm not sure which it is. Somebody's snoring, keeping me up. Anyways, I got all turned around and I woke up to some weird sounds, and there were a bunch of mushrooms. Lots of mushrooms in this place, but I knew better than to eat the mushrooms because the mushrooms, they could be very poisonous. This is a magical forest. I could only imagine the kinds of things that could happen to me eating a mushroom in a magical forest. I don't see good things. I wake up from my dizzying nap from the constellation and the broom and then my noisy snoring person, fox friend, to this guy. This is a grumpy toad guard. I don't know what grumpy toad guards do in the magical forest where things are in the upside down. He's very cute. It was a fun pattern. I enjoyed his little hat. And my only thing is she said to embroider little yellow speckles on him, and I did. In the pictures, it was only on his head. So I did that, but then you make this mushroom hat and it covered up all of the embroidery that I did do, so you see none of it. I guess I could put some back here, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to. So he is just gonna have speckles on his head under the mushroom hat and just be very grumpy. But I think he looks like a little bit of a powerhouse. So I do feel safer with him watching out for me. And he is much larger than the other little pukey fellow. This one is obviously a healthier toad. He's not as pukey. You know, must be in different areas of the forest and different breeds of toad. But I like they're both grouches. For some reason that works for me. Now, when I woke up, I had to cut the brambles. What are brambles? I don't know what those are. That, I think, is an English term. Is a bramble like a vine? Is it thorny? Because down here, we call those a thorny vine, not a bramble. If y'all know what a bramble is, tell me. Tell me what a bramble is, because in Texas, I don't know about a bramble. I had to cut the bramble with my Enchanted scissors. Also, these were supposed to have embroidery on them. Also, I didn't do that because I didn't want to. But I want you to imagine this is a very enchanted button holding the enchanted scissors together, therefore making them magical. They aren't going to sparkle with the yellow embroidery like other people's will. They are hidden in their magical abilities. They are there though. You just can't see it. So you can actually scissor and cut. I'm going to have to be very careful with these and cutting the brambles. Hopefully brambles aren't real thick because these aren't really good at cutting stuff, but we're going to imagine they are. It's magical, so who knows. In my post where I told you that I was not going to have a video this week, I talked to you about mushrooms because not only is his hat a mushroom, this was one mushroom I had to make. This was another mushroom. Now this one I think is mostly right. I don't know if I sewed the top on correctly. That's where I screwed up on all of them, is sewing on their tops. I'm not sure if I did that correctly. I could never tell whether you were supposed to sew it with a needle or crochet it together with your hook. This one is sewn, and you can see my stitches here along the side, which I think really doesn't make it look real good, but it is done. That was all that mattered. It's finished. It also has wire inside, so it's bendable. Then there's this one. Now this one has this little back loop on here. I don't know what I was supposed to do with that. Also, this is the wrong size because I was talking. Everything that I make when I am talking is wrong. And this is bigger than it's supposed to be because it's supposed to be the same size as this one, and it's not. Now, I didn't sew it the same, well, did I? Yeah, I don't know. It's sewn too, but it has this extra lip down here, probably because I did not read directions. And it's sewn down there versus this one sewn to where you can see the little ledge right here. So there's that. Then there's another one. Now this one is the same as this one. I think they're mostly alike, very lopsided. I believe these are probably very poisonous mushrooms because I think poisonous things are usually ugly, and I think these fit the bill. That's not all. There's two more. Now these are the ones I really didn't follow directions on. One looks like this, and it's got where I crocheted it together, and that really looks wrong. Very much it looks incorrect. Then this one, I sewed this one on. It doesn't look right either. I don't know. But I'm really hoping they're going to be stuffed into something or sewn onto something, and then you're really not going to be able to tell how bad they are. They're going to be just a little bit of decor for the entire scene that's being set. Then lastly, remember the bucket bowl thing that I was supposed to embroider a constellation on that I said, no, I'm not going to do that because it's on the bottom inside something, and I don't really see the point in doing that. I think I was correct in deciding no, I wasn't going to do that. I think that was the right decision because now that bowl bucket thing has become a tree stump. And it's really neat because it's got little things, little holes. So I have just been sticking these ugly mushrooms in here, and I think that that looks kind of neat. They said not to do anything with the ends yet, so that's why there's still thread on them, because I'm assuming they're going to be sewn onto something. That is my hope, to make those look better than they do. They said not to fasten off, so there's more to come here as well. But I think it's so cute, and you can't tell it real well, but it has like a whole little base where it's going to have like roots right there. And I'm assuming that there's going to be something to sew on the bottom. Just a guess, to kind of flatten this out. And so I'm really glad I did not do the constellation, because knowing me the way I know me, I would have put it on this side, on this bottom part. But I think it was supposed to go on this side, because from the story, when I woke up in a daze from my weird night flying on the broom with my compass that kept taking me in this wrong way, I felt like I was looking at a constellation, but I couldn't tell whether I was looking up or looking down. I was looking down. I was looking inside the bucket bowl, tree trunk thing that in my mind, this is where I was looking. So the story will continue next week. We will find out who my new friends are in this new world, whether the grumpy toad guard mushroom hat fellow is really protecting me or he's gonna spit out fumes of poison. I don't know. We will see where this goes. We do have a book this week that I reviewed. It has yet to release unless you have signed up on amigurumi.com, and I highly suggest you sign up on there. I don't know whether they are the publishing house for Meteor Books or they are just a distributor. Sign up on their site and they will send you out notices every time one of their books that they have published or they're helping to produce and send out releases, and you can pre-order through them. And then when you pre-order through them, they give you the option of getting a digital download, a PDF download, or buying the book, or just the book, or just the PDF. You can do multiple things. I am extra because I like having a paper book and I like having the digital copy, so I do both. And I think when you do both, it's about $26. I have already gotten mine. I don't think you can still pre-order the actual book, but you can go ahead and buy the PDF digital copy if you wanted to. So you can do that. And I think it's like $19.95 and you get it immediately. You do not have to wait. They will email it directly to you. So if you are not signed up on amigurumi.com, go do that. The book I am doing today is Erina Lee's book, and I've marked things we are going to discuss. I love Erina Lee's designs in general, and I've talked about another one of her books in another one of my previous videos because I love her patterns. And what I made from this book is this young lady. This is Jules. I changed colors and I also screwed up in places, and I will tell you what I've done. I have lots more mushrooms here. I really made a lot of mushrooms this week. This was a bit much for me. I don't want to make any more for a little while. She makes hers in a really neat way. I did enjoy making them, but I don't want to make any more. I just want to make that clear. No more for a little while. Only couple of things that I would change that I did is I would use a different color yarn for her body, and this turned out lighter than I thought it was going to be. And this is actually the yarn from the Crochet Society Advent box, was this yarn. And I wish I'd gone a little bit darker. That would be my only thing that I would have changed color-wise. I liked making her darker colors though. And the reason I chose Jules is because she reminded me so much of my little girl, with the dark hair and the little pigtails. The other sign of me not reading through a pattern would be what I did to her legs. They were not supposed to be the color they are. They were supposed to be her skin tone. But I thought, in my infinite wisdom from not reading ahead, that they were going to be socks. And so they were going to be a color, then she was going to make like a little cuff, and then I would switch to the leg color. That's not what she did. So her legs are a much darker color. What I believe happened to Jules is still set back in like 1989, 1991, in that little range where legs control top pantyhose were still a thing. These look very much like the color pantyhose I used to have to wear as a kid, and I think that's what Jules has on. I can't tell if they are control top. I really don't. You know, that's private. That's between her and her preferences, but I believe she is wearing these hose to stay a little bit warmer, probably to give her legs a little shine, as pantyhose used to do. I'm so glad we don't have to wear those anymore. Can we talk about how wonderful that is? She's so cute. I really enjoyed making her. Erina has definitely progressed in her pattern designing. This book is definitely an intermediate to a more advanced book. She has incorporated a whole bunch of new color work, a lot of new stitches. A lot of them have wings and stuff. Everything in this book is related to an enchanted forest. It goes along really well with this little magical Amigurumi School of Magic thing I'm doing right now. It ties in really well with this little world. I bet these people all know each other somehow. These are really cute patterns. Definitely, this is not a beginner level book. There are a couple of patterns that are easier, but if you're just beginning, I don't recommend this book until you have a little bit more experience under your belt. The first little character in this book that I adore, and I really considered making him, but I did not want to make all of his little feet. I was not in the mood to do all of that. I was going to stick with the mushroom caps versus all these toes. He is on the list to be made, but not yet. I need to recover from the toadstools first before I move on to this guy. But this is Bogart the Toad. Now he is a resident of this little enchanted forest, and he is known for his wisdom and his dapper appearance. He has a coat with those tails, like a tuxedo coat with tails, and he's got the bow tie, obviously a snappy dresser. He's got a fly on his head. He carries dinner with him, unless that's just a friend that trusts him really well to not eat him. Another thing about Bogart, it says, there is one thing that will dampen his charm. That's if he misses breakfast. Right? You get me missing my meals? I am not a happy camper. Obviously, Bogart's the same. That's probably why dinner is following him everywhere he goes. Good thinking there, Bogart. I really considered making this little guy, and his name is Elm the Tree Fairy. He has this adorable blue curly hair. You'll see that he has these little checkered shorts. That's a totally new thing for her to be doing that kind of color work on her pieces. And he's got that little hat. He is actually best friends with my little girl, Jules. I can see them really getting along very well. The reason I did not make him is because of that hair. I typically don't mind making hair and putting in all the detail, but when I saw how many curls are on this kid's head, I was like, no, I'm not doing that right now. She has quite a few characters in here with the curls, and they're beautiful and precious and adorable, but those are some monotonous suckers, and I wasn't in the mood to do that. I think if you have the time to do it, totally worth it. I didn't have that kind of time, nor did I want to make the time right now. The other one that I think is so cute is Hannah the Flower Fairy. Hannah the Flower Fairy radiates beauty, and she revels in the warm embrace of sunshine. Her every step leaves a most delightful trail of fragrant scents. Now that is pollen. Pollen makes my mother's eyes pop out, so she could not be here in real life. We would have to depollinate her for her to stay here in this house. Hannah teaches us all that friendship and working together can transform any place into a most wondrous sanctuary where nature can flourish and blossom. This is a very positive book. Mr. Rogers would definitely approve. These are some friendly little fairies, and I love that. After hearing that, they probably don't belong in my witchcraft forest. These are probably too nice for my crazy forest with the constellation and all the mushrooms. They may not fit in there. After seeing how nice everybody is, I have a feeling there's some bad stuff in my forest. This seems to be a very happy and welcoming environment versus what I'm probably going to be dealing with over there with the brambles. Just saying. The other little creature that I think is very cute is Piper the Badger. If you are familiar with some of her other pieces, she has a little dog and a pig that wear a tutu with a big bow on their head. And this is, I believe, probably the majority of the same pattern with a few little tweaks here and there. But this is Piper the Badger. Now, I chose Piper because Piper has a visual impairment. And you know that's near and dear to my heart. She has a lot of accidental collisions. Understandably, she probably needs a mobility cane. She is waiting to see an optician, but in the meantime, one of the other fairies is helping her navigate her way through the woods. And thank goodness for good friends, right? I love all the little flowers across her head and the tutu. The last one I was going to talk to you about is Milo the Hare. Now, the reason I chose Milo is because Milo is not one of my favorites. And the reason is because I did not know this was a rabbit. Unless a hare is different than a rabbit or a different variety of rabbit, but it does not look like a rabbit. I honestly thought this was some sort of kangaroo. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's the ears or what, but it didn't look like a rabbit to me. I didn't know what it was. Very cute, adorable, but I didn't know that was a bunny. Definitely in the intermediate to advanced world of crochet books, but I highly recommend it if you have any of her other books. She's definitely progressed in her designs and her color work and her ideas. She just does amazing work. So I do recommend getting this and signing up on amigurumi.com. If you do digital patterns, you can go ahead and download the book now. And one last thing I was going to show you. I think I've told y'all that I really like murder things, murder podcasts, murder TV shows, murder mysteries. I am all there to figure out how somebody died, who killed them, why did they kill them, the psychology of the person behind the killing, and the one they chose to kill. I love all that. I am a broken individual, but it is who I am, and one of my friends knows this about me. Look what she got me. It is a murder cup. There is blood here on the side. There are bloody handprints. There's knives and crime scene tape. And then if you turn this cup upside down, the liquid moves. Y'all, this cup is magical. And I have been so productive since I have had this cup, which is almost a week. I have gotten so much done, and I think it's because I'm drinking out of a murder cup. I really do. And that is sick and broken, but it is the haunting season, and this fits right in with all of that because this is the only scary stuff I like. I do not do horror movies or any of that, but I will watch some really awful murder shows. But don't get me in on stupid people in haunted houses or camping in the woods being stupid. I don't do that, but I do regular, plain old bad people murders. I enjoy that, but you get me off into that weird stuff. No, I need just a regular murder. And I've been so productive because I had a regular murder cup with crime scene tape on it. And that is delicious bubbly water, and it's very bitter, and it's perfect. I just had to show y'all that. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time here on The Rumi Mill. Bye.